Hey, what's up guys? John here. Paul Tudor Jones, net worth about $8.1 billion, just made an almost damn near identical prediction to Stanley Druckenmiller of Duke Hens Capital Management. His net worth is about $7 billion. So the odds of both of these billionaires being wrong, supported by immense facts that we're already, we've already seen and we're already going through, like there's no way in which this change happens and these investors are, let's say, miss the mark. What do I mean by that? Now they're predicting that interest rates are going to be going up in a radical way. Now I'm talking about consumer interest rates. Credit cards, auto loans, mortgage loans, personal loans, everything is just going to get more expensive to borrow. It's going to get a lot more expensive to service existing debt. And the world's essentially going to get a lot harder for most people. Now, what they're predicting is that regardless of if Kamala wins or if Trump wins, it's going to be the same exact outcome. Both candidates will issue immense stimulus and the middle class is going to walk into immense hardship. And so what they're predicting is that that everything is about to hit the fan after the election. Now, the election's in a couple weeks, so you start to look at how fast this train is moving. You have Kamala talking about price controls. You have Trump talking about putting caps on interest rates on credit cards. You have all of these new conversations that we're having about the sacrifices that American companies and Americans need to make to be able to combat this inequality we're all living through is, I believe, just the start of it. And so do these billionaire investors. Now, what's shocking is if you look at how fast credit card interest rates are growing and how much debt consumers are walking into every single month. Their balances are growing month after month. The average balance is over $8,000. And many people think that when you cap interest rates or credit card interest rates go down, they're not going to, because as defaults continue to rise, these they're not, these credit card companies, they don't have usury laws. They can charge 40%, 50%. They can charge any interest rates they want. Yet a payday lender, a traditional loan shark, they actually have to operate inside of a set of rules and guidelines. Every single state has their own their own limitations on how much they can and can't charge. They're limited to their fees. These credit card companies are not. So if they want to charge 40% or 50%, they can. And if they're required by law to charge less, they just won't lend. Now, what I believe is going to be happening and what they're saying is going to happen is that the cost for Americans to borrow is going to be the camel that breaks its back, because Americans right now are surviving on lines of credit. Without those lines of credit, we would see delinquencies and defaults far greater than 2008, even 1929. Everything was built around this PPP loan, easy stimulus economy, low interest rates. This is where it was all built, and there's no going back to that. We're just going to see borrowing costs skyrocket. Look at existing home sales right now. They're hitting levels not seen since 2010. Yet they say home prices are at all-time highs. So if you start to look at this, who's buying these homes? It's the wealthy Americans. It's the investors, right? And who's going to be buying homes in a high interest rate environment? It's going to be investors. Because you think about it, high interest rates are going up. The cost to borrow capital is going up. Insurance and taxes are going up. The cost to heat properties are going up. What do people do during that affordability crisis? They rent. They walk away from their homes and they rent. And when you could rent for essentially half the cost of owning, who would opt in to own? Not many people. And when 70% of Americans' net worth is tied up into the value of their home, and they're walking into this big black swan event, imagine what's going to happen. You're going to start to see these conversations about, we need to do something, we need to fix this, and the only way in which they can fix it is problem, reaction, solution, which we're walking into right now.
Today's video is sponsored by Aura, and there could not be a more crucial time to talk about them. Recently, over 2.9 billion records were stolen from National Public Data, a service that provides personal information to employers and organizations for background checks. These stolen records include full name, address, date of birth, phone numbers, and most importantly, social security numbers. Now reportedly available online for free. In my business, I've seen countless cases of identity theft, and I know firsthand how devastating it can be. And that's why I take extra precautions. If you have not been serious about your online security, let this be a wake-up call. We've never been more vulnerable online than we are right now. But here's why I'm not too worried. I use Aura. Aura is an all-in-one digital security solution that keeps your personal information safe. It monitors your data, including your social security number, across billions of data points, on the dark web and public court records, detecting and alerting you of any signs of identity theft. Not only that, Aura offers up to $5 million in identity theft insurance to cover any potential worst-case scenarios. Plus, it comes packed with other features designed to keep you safe online, all conveniently available in one app. I highly recommend you try it out. Visit the link in the description to get 14-day access for free. In just that time, Aura can check if any of your personal data has been compromised. Don't leave yourself and your family exposed. Protect yourself today by going to the description box below to start your 14-day free trial.
We see the problem. Whoever, Kamala or Trump, that they're going to react to it. And then the solution is going to be massive changes all throughout America. And that's what we're walking into. We're walking into something really, really shocking. Now, when they say that interest rates are going up, don't think it's going up by 7.5% on a 30-year fixed. Don't think it's going up by like 5%. 5% here, 2% there. It's going to be going up in such a big way across the board, because it's not going to make sense to lend, because the default rates are going to be way, way too high as the labor market starts to crack, and they don't know who's going to actually have a job in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So it's going to get out of control. But he or she who has the cash, who makes the rules. It's always that way. And I believe it's going to present this once in a lifetime opportunity for those that are in the right business, have the right job, are in the right financial position, to capitalize on a massive, massive generational opportunity to build wealth. Like absolutely huge. And this isn't going to be like a 2008 event. I think we're walking into something greater than most people could even imagine in the next year or two. They're saying even before that, they're saying the elections, things are going to start hitting the fan. That's in a couple weeks. So I think it's going to take some time for this thing to play out. But you just start to look at what's unfolding right now, even with landlord-tenant law across the country, and how all of this is going to, kind of work together. So in New York City and Los Angeles, San Francisco, landlord-tenant law has been continuing to change consistently in favor of the tenant. Now, a lot of states are bringing forward protections. The last 4 years, they brought forward eviction moratoriums, right, to protect tenants. Meanwhile, most homes and small multifamily properties are owned by mom and pop investors who barely have 2 pennies to rub together, right? They were the ones that were going to subsidize it all. When you walk into this type of crisis, they're going to say, we need to protect tenants. We need to strip more rights on these landlords, from these landlords, and protect and provide for these tenants. And it's going to get harder and harder to operate these properties, and investors are going to be able to step in and acquire them. And I think we're going to see a major shift around every facet of the economy. Kamala was talking about price controls at grocery stores. She was talking about a 5% rent cap for rents. I made that prediction damn near 2 years ago, and the comment section was, oh, fearmonger, not going to happen, no way, not in America. Kamala just made a video, was it 2 months ago? 3 months ago, and Biden saying, yeah, we need to do 5% rent caps, right? Okay, well, this is the direction that we're going into. When they can control how much credit card companies should charge, how much landlords should charge, how much grocery stores can charge, the only people that really win that game are the big corporations and the investors that have very little leverage and that really know what they're doing. I'm not talking about like the last 4 years. Most investors didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were just buying things, and prices just happened to go up by 20, 30, 40, 50% because of, their market. Everything was just skyrocketing, going crazy. But in the next couple of years, it's going to be the complete opposite. Like, you're going to actually have to have skill, actually have a game plan, and understand these changes that are coming to the world, and being able to pivot and move. It's going to be like a, kind of like Frogger. You're trying to cross the street without getting hit by a car. It's going to be the same thing with real estate and investing and operating a business in this country. You're going to have to keep pivoting and moving, because it's going to be one curveball after the next that's going to be coming for American business owners and landlords. Now, at the end of the day, we have no choice but to play the game, right? No choice but to play the game. When you have Paul Tudor Jones, Stanley Druckenmiller saying that interest rates are going to be going up, and you look at the state of the U.S. consumer, look at the state of U.S. banks, and you'll realize that that everything's about to change, and laws, business policies, everything is going to be changing with it, and the investors that are going to win are getting their ducks in a row right now. I don't think Paul Tudor Jones is wrong. I don't think Stanley Druckenmiller is wrong. I think they're spot on, accurate, and they're going to make billions and billions of dollars on this trade, on this bet of what's going to happen. I mean, just our interest payments in 2024 were, essentially hit defense spending. It's crazy, and we're spending $1 trillion every 100 days in this country, and that spending is going to just keep ramping up. So think about it. If the spending is going to keep ramping up, and we can see the direction what's going to happen with personal income taxes and tax collections in general as the labor market starts to fade away. During recessions, taxes generally go down because there's less taxable income. If our debts are continuing to rise, you can just imagine the pressure that's going to put on small business owners, right? What that's going to do to a lot of American companies. They're going to be laying off. They're going to be leaning heavily into AI, automation, job outsourcing. They're going to find ways to automate and reduce expenses, and to try to survive and thrive during the hard times. All of which is going to be bad for business, or for everyday employees and everyday America. But whoever wins, whether it's this one or this one, Paul Tudor Jones is saying it doesn't make a difference. Stanley Druckenmiller said the same thing. He said he's not voting. He doesn't care. He said it doesn't change anything. What do you think about this entire situation? You think that these multi-billionaires are wrong? Or you think they're right? You think interest rates are going to be going up in a really, really big way throughout this country? Or do you think they're going to go down? A lot of people thought, hey, look, when the Fed cut 50 basis points, they have all these different hikes, in front of us. Sure, they're going to likely continue cutting. No doubt about it. But the consumers aren't going to see any of that benefit. The consumers are going to be the ones that are getting punished over the chain of events that America's walking into right now. What do you think about this entire situation? Let's have a conversation about this below. And for more information on today's video sponsor, you can click the link in the description just below this video. Catch you next video.